All right, today and this week, our activity that we're going to be doing in film is going to be transitions. It's actually really cold in my house, so I don't want that. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to actually be making a bunch of different transitions. The first thing you're going to need to do is research different types of transitions. And transitions can be anything from switching from different scenes. It could also be switching clothing. It could be whatever you want. This is also a TikTok, I don't want to say trend because it's like, you know, it's just something people do. So I guess that's a trend. I'm not up in the hippity hop lingo. Either way, because of that, you can film this in either vertical or horizontal. There is no requirement on these. You could even do it in square if you really wanted to. Either way, you are going to have to create a video with 5 separate transitions. And I know you're like, what? But I'm going to give you a few free ones. So the first one is the snap. Snap is one that I use all the time, and I might overuse it, as you can see. So that is one transition that you might have. Another one could be what I like to call like the zoom in, and that's pretty much where you go real close to the camera, and when you come away, then you are suddenly in a different outfit again. That is another one. Another one could be what I call the head bash, where you bounce your head into it, and then when you bounce it, it's almost like you're getting struck, and then you bounce back and you're in a different scenario. So that could maybe look like that. And so that is just a couple different transitions that you can use. So right now that's 3. If you want to, you can find transitions online. Just look up video transitions. You could do match cuts. We did the cuts video before, and like some of them were like they're falling, and all of a sudden as soon as they hit the bed they fall into water. There's all sorts of cool ones out there. If you're on TikTok, there's thousands. People got so creative with it, and so you could find many more transitions than you could ever imagine. And so you're gonna have to do 5 transitions. A classic film transition is the whip cut, and or the whip pan, and that's where the camera whips and then it's somewhere else, and it could be night or day. These are really key for learning how to create seamless transitions, especially when you don't have a seamless opportunity. Like for instance, if you know that your actors have to go from daytime to nighttime, but you don't know how, like there's no conversation started that just says, well, it looks like we're waiting till dusk. If that's not a possibility for you, then a transition is a great way of just showing the viewer that this scene is over, we're starting something else, and this kind of filmmaking magic kind of comes to it. This is also going to tie in to our side lesson, which is going to be about film history, and that's where transition and movie magic really took like its like growing stages. And so we're going to be learning about one of the fathers of filmmaking and how he used film tricks like this to create what we call now movie magic. So that is our fun activity for this week. I hope you enjoyed this little short video tutorial. So now that we've talked a little bit about transitions, now we're going to be talking about how to edit them in post. So let's get started. All right, I'm gonna just do a refresher course on splice and how to bring stuff in. If you're using hit film, you still wanna keep watching this because even though we're still using different ones, it's gonna be the same concept. The editing process will be the same. So first of all, you wanna start a new project and you want to collect your video. Now, I'm kinda doing video inception. This is actually going to be added to this video after it's done, so I'm actually editing our final video. So I'm gonna bring in all the videos that I know that I'm going to use in this project. So once I've got that done, now I want it to be horizontal, even though there's a vertical video in there, and create. So now what I'm gonna do is right here, this was my intro. As you can see, I'm scrubbing through. And what you wanted to do is you wanna make sure that you're always standing in the same place when you're doing this snap transition. So notice how I positioned myself. I actually planted my foot down to do this. So then what I did was I snapped, I moved forward, and when I came back, I actually didn't ever even pick up a foot to try and keep it as specific as possible. So now I'm gonna scrub back till I hit the point where I see my fingers jupe like that. And then I'm gonna go to this one where I tried to line up my fingers the best I could. like that. And now we can watch the transition. Film is going to be transition. So that's how you create the transition. You want to make sure you're in the same spot. You want to clip them together and so that they move in together. Now I did a couple other transitions in here. So when we did the next one, so when I did the palm in, same thing. You want to make sure that you give yourself enough. Now I did another one. So here's my palm. So I go in and same thing. I'm going to scrub down to where it goes black. And I don't want it to be black for too long. I actually want it to be quick because you don't want to bore people. So that's the first mistake people make is they make that transition go too long. All right, here we go. So right there, now we watch these transitions. Go real close to the camera. And when you come away, then you are... Now, if you notice there, I made a mistake. I left the room to grab a jacket, and I forgot that I used the other hand. So when I pulled away, it was actually the wrong hand. But that's just a continuity error that, for transitions, doesn't really bother too many people, but it will just bother me, I'm sure. So that is a couple other transitions that you can use. The last one is the headbang one. So I bumped my head in. Look at that, forehead. Again, same thing. You want to get it till it's dark. And then when you go to the other one, did I? Let's see here. Boom. There we go. So there is the transition. Let's see how that worked. My is the worst acting ever, but that's kind of how you edit it together. You want to stitch them as close as possible, but remember, don't make it so that it is that it's too long. You want the hit to be fast. You want the transition to be fast, because when you go too long, you kind of ruin the magic of it. It doesn't feel like a snap. It feels like a long pause. So that's the one thing to watch out for. So that's how you edit them together. Now go on, see if you can find some other transitions out there, and your assignment will be just a week-long assignment, and hopefully you'll have a lot of fun making this project. So have fun, everybody. Bye.